An off-duty police officer makes a horrifying discovery.
Okay, is there any serious bleeding?
Yes, she's in the face. She's shot in the face.
He's screaming, uncontrollable.
They go inside. They see blood on the inside of the door. There's blood on the knob, and there's even blood on the wall.
It's an unthinkable tragedy, made all the worse by the young couple's undying love for each other.
From the very first time Dion laid eyes on her, he was pretty much in love with her.
It would always be, I love you, I love you, I love you.
But the mystery of what happened on this catastrophic day will be no small task to unravel, ultimately leaving many to wonder, was it a terrible accident, suicide, or murder?
It was a dangerous situation and nobody even knew about it. There was obsession, lies being told, and lovers on the side.
She was like, I'll get you your money later, and he refused to take that as an answer.
She was in so deep, she didn't know how to get out of it. She was dealing with something that she didn't know how to get away from.
Tuesday, March 16th, 2010. It's a sunny afternoon in East Nashville, Tennessee, a vibrant up-and-coming community in Music City, USA.
It's become just an attractive place for a lot of people.
But at 4:46 p.m., an emergency call reaches Area 911 dispatchers.
What is the address of your emergency?
Sorry.
On the line is 23-year-old Dion Cartmel, and he's no ordinary resident.
I'm off-duty officer, Dion Cartmel. Please come quick.
Okay, sir, it's the health department duplex.
House. Please send medics.
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay?
He's screaming. It seems like he is inconsolable.
Please, hurry.
Okay, stay on the line with me.
Moments later, dispatchers ascertain the cause of Officer Cartmel's dire emergency.
She's in the face. She's shot in the face. Please, baby, please. Come on, baby.
Okay,
Yes, she's not really please.
I need someone. They're on their way, sir.
With help now on the way, Dion does what he can to keep his 24-year-old wife, Shari, alive.
I'm not to figure out.
Okay, I'm gonna stay on the line until help arrives.
Within minutes, first responders arrive at the Cartmel home.
They can see Shari lying back on the couch, unresponsive. As they get closer, they see that she's lying in a pool of blood.
She had a gunshot wound to the face.
She's not breathing. There is only a very faint heartbeat.
We gotta get her out of here.
Let's go back out front.
When the ambulance get there, they transport her to the hospital.
Shari's condition is dire, but did she truly attempt to take her own life? The answer to that question will not only haunt her doting husband, but her friends, family, and the entire East Nashville community.
What has happened to her is just almost unreal to me. It still lingers in my mind. Why?
Shari Bethel was born on July 30th, 1985, to a loving family that pampered their precious youngest girl.
Couldn't wait to take that baby home and show her off. I got on a Greyhound bus and rode from Fort Worth, Texas to Paducah, Kentucky to show this baby. She was just special.
She just had this little sweetness about her. She had this real high-pitched voice, and she was always smiling and happy.
In the fall of 1999, Shari's family moved to Nashville, Tennessee. There, Shari blossomed.
Shari was the popular girl. Everybody knew her. She was just this big joy to be around. Everybody loved Shari.
She was hilarious, she was funny, she was outgoing, she was one of a kind.
She was just that spark, you know, she had that sparkle about her.
In high school, Shari was a full-blown knockout, turning heads everywhere she went.
All the guys wanted her because she was absolutely stunning.
She was real petite body-wise, and she had these nice legs, but then she had this chest. So, of course, she was gonna get guys' attention first.
But there was one unassuming young man at Hunters Lane High School who was especially smitten with Shari.
From the very first time Dion laid eyes on her, he was pretty much in love with her.
To Shari, though, Dion was just another hopeless admirer.
She called him freckle face. That's how she referred to him. He still had that little boy face, a little boy figure. He'd flirt with her, he'd try to hang out places that she went, just trying to make himself be known. And she just was not interested in it.
After high school, the two former classmates went their separate ways.
Dion goes off to the military in the Marine Corps, and Shari goes to college. So they lose contact with each other.
Dion was serving overseas in Iraq while Shari was attending Bethel University back in Nashville.
For Dion and Shari, it seemed their futures were headed in different directions until one fateful day in 2006.
Hi, can I help you?
It's me, Dion.
Shari was working at the jewelry store, and he had come in on Christmas break from the Marines. He's like, hey, Shari, reintroducing himself, and she was really in shock at how he changed.
Dion Cartmel?
Yes, what's going on, girl?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Dion blossomed when he went off to the Marines. He came back completely changed physically. He had buffed up.
He's pumped up. He's no longer that skinny guy. He is handsome at this point. He's filled out.
Wow. So, do you live in Nashville now?
No, I'm actually in North Carolina. I'm stationed at the Marine base there.
I can't get over how much you've changed.
She's really checking him out, and that's not something that she's done in the past. He realizes for the first time, I've got her attention, and I'm gonna keep it. So they exchange numbers. They start a long-distance relationship.
Oh, God, he wooed Shari like every girl wants to be wooed. Even if they don't say it, they want it.
He's lavishing her with flowers. He's taking her to expensive restaurants. He's buying her gifts. He knows that Shari likes fine things in life. So he does everything he can to impress her.
As a Marine, Dion had a passionate interest in guns, a passion he enjoyed sharing with Shari every chance he got.
Shari developed an interest in knowing more about how to shoot the weapon, so he was always teaching her how to shoot and how to aim.
I would occasionally take her to the gun range where they would fire the weapons.
With Dion still stationed in North Carolina and Shari continuing to call Nashville home, the distance between the couple only strengthened their affection for one another.
She loved Dion. Dion walked on water in Shari's eyes, and it was almost annoying. It would always be, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. They would go back and forth, up and down the interstate. If he didn't come here, she'd go there.
It was like fire between them, very passionate.
After suffering a serious knee injury in 2008, Dion was honorably discharged from the Marines. He immediately joined Shari in Nashville, where the two married and began a picture-perfect life together.
Shari landed a good job at an area hospital as a registrar, so she talked to a lot of incoming patients, helped them with their paperwork, and made appointments.
She was very successful, and she was very friendly with all the people there.
Dion was just as successful. He enrolled in the police academy, graduated, and was assigned to the Nashville Police Department.
He was ecstatic. He was very excited, and we were all very proud of him. My grandmother went to his graduation ceremony. We all were very happy for Dion.
They were, talking about maybe children, having kids. They purchased a house, what every young couple strives to do.
They had the fairy tale relationship.
But this fairy tale would not have a happy ending. As Shari is rushed to the hospital with a seemingly self-inflicted gunshot wound to the face, investigators begin surveying the scene at the Cartmel home. What they uncover will pull back the veil on Shari's picture-perfect life and reveal that this beautiful bombshell had something to hide.
I just started screaming, what?
I was shocked. I would never want to know that my sister's heart was broken that bad.
After nearly 3 years of marriage, it seemed nothing could stop Nashville residents Dion and Shari Cartmel.
Dion was a well-respected Nashville police officer and a former Marine. Shari was a popular employee at a local hospital.
They're headed in the right direction, no question about it. Everything was going well for them.
Then, on the afternoon of March 16, 2010, everything changes in the blink of an eye.
Dion contacts 911. My wife has shot herself. He's screaming, uncontrollable.
During the 911 call, he was panicking.
Please, 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 my God, please, God.
When Nashville police and EMS arrive on the premises, they find Dion in the throes of despair as his gravely wounded wife is raced to the hospital.
He was crying. He was falling down on the ground.
He's going crazy. He's hitting himself. He's screaming. They try to get him to calm down enough for them to understand what's going on.
Other police officers who he had worked with were with him, were trying to console him.
He was just too distraught to do an interview.
Hey, man, I'm Chaplain Evans.
There was a police chaplain on hand to comfort Dion, and Dion told him what happened.
Dion explains to the police chaplain that he and Shari had planned a quiet evening at home that night.
We're sitting in the living room. We're cleaning our guns.
They both was off from work that day, so they had planned the evening to spend together. He said it was our day to be together. They had started cooking dinner and watching the movie Training Day.
Dion was cleaning his guns and playing with his guns, and Shari was looking at the guns.
Can you show me how to take apart your AR-15?
For real? That's a big gun.
Yeah.
All right.
He went to the bedroom closet when he heard a gunshot. Come back out of the closet and saw that she was on the sofa and shot herself.
Shortly after listening to Dion's account, the chaplain is approached by Detective Robinson.
I spoke with the chaplain and I asked him, what did he tell you?
He wasn't in the room. He said, he heard the shot. So he's obviously really, really distraught right now.
Police are trying to figure out what really happened.
As the chaplain relays Officer Cartmell's story to Detective Robinson, the whole incident sounds like a tragic accident. Still, Detectives Postiglione and Robinson intend to play this one by the book.
The fact that he was a police officer really meant nothing to us. We just had to evaluate the crime scene, determine exactly what happened, and just go from there.
But as they begin processing the scene, the detectives receive the one call everyone's been dreading.
I had communicated with a detective that I had sent to the hospital, and he called me back and told me that Shari was pronounced deceased.
News of Shari's sudden death hits her family like a ton of bricks.
I was upstairs in my townhouse talking on the telephone. I was the church secretary at that time, to my pastor. And I hear a knock on the door. And I look out my window. There's police knocking on the door. I go downstairs and I let him in.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
And he said, sit down. I said, no, I'm not gonna sit down. I said, what's wrong? He said, Shari's deceased. I was torn to pieces.
The phone rang. Well, it was my sister. She was screaming at the top of her lungs. And then she tells me, and I just say, what? I jump up out of bed and I just start screaming, what? What? Oh my God.
While Shari's family struggles to come to grips with her death, the detectives' preliminary search of the Cartmell home seems to support Dion's story.
They notice that there is a gun right there on the ottoman. There's blood on the gun.
We make our way to the kitchen and the oven's on. When you open the oven, there was some chicken breasts in the oven that looked like someone had stuck in there and they hadn't finished cooking.
When police search the rest of the house, though, they make a curious discovery.
In his third bedroom, he had made it into like a makeshift gun range where he had brought in some tires and some phone books. He was actually using the bedroom to fire guns in.
For the average citizen, a situation like the one in the Cartmell home might be cause for alarm. But for a revered cop and gun enthusiast like Dion, it isn't so strange.
There was nothing that I knew that was really creepy about him. A lot of officers that worked with him said, hey, he was a normal guy, was real likable.
This is a household where guns are normal.
I think if you go around and talk to a lot of officers, you'll find that they buy and purchase a lot of weapons.
While officers continue to probe every corner of the house, Detectives Postiglione and Robinson examine Dion.
He had blood all on there was blood on his face, blood on his hands. I saw blood on his pants, and he had a white T-shirt or what appeared to me to be blood spattered on the shirt.
He said that he offered CPR to her, so it's plausible that the blood could have been transferred that way.
The blood transfer could have come with his interaction. Anytime you touch somebody who's got blood on them, obviously you may get some blood on you.
Yeah, I know it's hard, but we gotta do a GSR test. Just proceed.
Just get it over with, man.
He's a cop. He knows the procedure. He knows they're going to ask him tough questions. He is cooperating with them. He gives them his clothes. He knows that they have to go through his cell phone. He gives that up. He lets them test his hands for gun residue. So it seems like he's cooperating as much as he can.
We had no reason to think anything else happened other than a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
As police continue processing the scene, Shari Cartmell's accidental shooting death is the lead story on the news that night. But as momentum for this case builds, information will soon come to light that suggests there's much more to this story than meets the eye.
You could look in Shari's eyes. The brightness was gone. That flame was gone.
GSR, basically, if a person fires a gun, there are these invisible gases that gets on your hands, and if you like wipe your hands on your clothing, it gets on your clothing as well. So that's what the testing is for, is to see all those traces of gases on your hands, so we can say he did fire a weapon, no, he didn't fire a weapon.
On March 16, 2010, 24-year-old Shari Cartmell succumbed to a gunshot wound in an apparent accidental shooting in her own home. The following day, Nashville police sit down with Shari's grieving husband and fellow Metro officer Dion Cartmell for an official statement.
I'm feeling sympathetic towards him and also the tragic loss of life, all of that. But at the same time, I'm eager to hear what he has to say.
Dion begins by describing the events he discussed with the police chaplain the previous evening.
We call it our Tuesday, so we just hang out together and do whatever at the house or go wherever.
It was just as he said the day before. They were watching a movie together, preparing dinner, and Dion was showing Shari how to take apart and clean his Glock.
I'm showing her, like I said before, going through, this is how you take it apart, this is how this works. And we're watching the movie Training Day.
She goes into the kitchen and check on the food.
I'm gonna go put the chicken in the oven.
Right, perfect. And that's when he reloaded the weapon. He sets it on the ottoman. She comes back in, sit on the sofa next to his left.
All right, so what's next?
I was reaching for the AR. I was like, I'm gonna show you how this one works.
As Dion grabs his AR-15, he hears the Glock go off with a shattering bang.
I reach for that. When I grab it, I hear a bang. I can feel the force like on my face. I jump and I freak out. I looked over there, that's when I seen she was laid over, and I was like, babe. It didn't feel real to me. It didn't feel real. Oh my God, no! I was like, baby, can you talk to me? So I was waiting on her to talk back, but she wasn't saying anything.
Now, the way Dion describes it, it makes sense, but it is a little different than the way he described it to the chaplain the night before.
First time he told them that he heard the shot from the bedroom. But then his story changes to they were both in the living room watching a movie.
While investigators take note of the discrepancy, they realize that people who've witnessed horrific tragedies often misremember key details.
We took the fact that his wife had just been shot into consideration. Yeah, we understood that.
As the interview proceeds, Dion informs them that this unintentional discharge of a weapon wasn't Shari's first.
He told them about a prior incident that took place with Shari, that once when he was not in the home, she fired the gun and put a hole in the wall.
Apparently she had the magazine out, but someone still in the chamber was messing around, trying to figure out if the slide's not completely forward, then the round got fired, or most likely on fire. It went through the mattress, out the headboard, through the wall.
The evidence for that discharge is easily verifiable. It's lodged in the wall of the Cartmell home. But detectives question the likelihood of a similar situation in this case.
His reasoning was she picked it up maybe thinking it was unloaded and fired the weapon and accidentally shot herself.
He said, well, she probably didn't realize that I had just loaded the gun back up. But either way, you don't point a gun to your face and pull the trigger. That seems like a very strange thing to do.
With the notion of accidental death being called into question, police are now entertaining the possibility that Shari took her own life on purpose.
There is the possibility this is a suicide. They need to look deeper into her personal life to see if she could have been depressed.
Police are asking him about his marriage. They want to know, did you have any problems in the marriage? Was there anything going on?
We, we're doing good. I mean, it was all happy. It was kisses in the morning, hugs at night. It was perfect.
But when investigators speak to Shari's family, they learn that the picture Dion paints of a perfectly happy couple may not be entirely accurate.
What can you tell us about Shari?
She was very agitated and she was not happy. You could look in Shari's eyes. The brightness was gone. That flame was gone.
The last time I saw her, she wasn't the happy, bubbly, and I noticed she'd put on a little weight. And she hadn't had her hair done, and it was like, what's going on?
Shari's loved ones believe they may know why she was so down in the dumps.
I had heard that Dion had cheated on Shari, but Shari always denied it.
She said that he hadn't been intimate with her in a while. And so in my mind, it tells me that the relationship is not where it's supposed to be because they're still young people.
I remember one night in particular, and this is at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm on the phone with Shari and I'm like, oh, it's quiet over there. Where's Dion? And she's like, I don't know. He said he's going to the gym.
He's home, I'll call you
I
back.
said, 11 o'clock at night?
Where were you tonight?
It's at the gym. I told you I was working out.
Oh,
After getting in the shower. I'll be in bed in a minute.
okay.
Shari had discovered that her husband was sexting numerous women, up to 10 or 12 women.
She assumed he was cheating. She never came out and told me she knew for a fact he was, but she knew. She just didn't want to admit it. Love is blind.
It is possible that Shari was so torn up by her husband's cheating ways that she decided to end it all right in front of him.
What are you doing? Put the gun down. What are you doing?
Know about those other women?
There's no other women.
Yes, there
No,
are.
let's talk
Why
about
are you
this.
lying to me?
I'm not. I love you. No.
Shari's friends and family, though, find that scenario unthinkable.
She has not committed no suicide. Shari would not have stuck no gun near her face.
While detectives still aren't certain what happened, Dion's alleged affairs do raise some eyebrows.
Dion is supposed to be a respectable man, and to find out from the family that he's been sexting other women, up to 12 women, it's sort of alarming to them.
But what's most alarming is what investigators learn next. Because sometimes when you start turning over rocks, you have no idea what you'll find underneath.
Still to this day, it makes my chest hurt to even think about it.
Less than 2 days after the shooting death of 24-year-old Shari Cartmel, Nashville investigators have turned up some unexpected dirt on Shari's husband and fellow Metro officer, Dion Cartmel.
Dion is supposedly cheating on her, so she was not happy, which was adding a lot of stress to the marriage.
I think they had the American dream relationship on the outside, but I think she knew about the women and certain things that he was doing wasn't setting well with her.
Dion painted a picture of domestic bliss in his initial interview that didn't gel with the facts. So now investigators had questions. Had Shari intentionally ended her own life, or had something else happened in their home?
When the medical examiner's report comes back, it only further muddies the water.
She had a wound, entered her cheek, and went up to the backside of her brain. It went straight of an angle shot, which could indicate she was turning her head this way when she was shot. It was difficult to replicate.
So is it even possible to shoot yourself like that?
It's difficult, but it's possible.
The medical examiner rules her death inconclusive. He needs more information to have an exact finding.
An inconclusive medical report means investigators must search beyond the possibility of a self-inflicted wound.
In order to say, okay, she turned the gun on herself and she somehow turned the angle and pulled the trigger, it was just so incredibly bizarre for her to do in the first place. Much more likely that it was somebody shooting her versus her doing it to herself.
But if that theory makes Dion their #1 suspect, His gunshot residue test is equally confounding.
The GSR test done on his hands came back from the state lab, and the findings were inconclusive.
The inconclusive GSR test means Dion is presumed innocent until the evidence suggests otherwise. It also means it's time for investigators to start looking at other possible suspects.
They started looking into these girls that he was allegedly messing around with on the side.
He was texting a lot of different girls. He would meet them on traffic stops. He would exchange numbers with them. He would text them back and forth.
You know why I pulled you over?
Why?
You looking really nice driving this car.
Thank you.
Is it possible one of these women fell hard for the handsome, hard-bodied Officer Cartmel and decided she'd do anything to have him all to herself?
This is not exactly a far-fetched idea. It happens all the time. Someone has many lovers, and the lovers are jealous of the wife's life with that man. They want to be with that man, and they're willing to kill for it.
You look at some of those scenarios, the possibility that something else may have occurred versus what he's telling us. Is it possible a third person may have come in and done this, and he's somehow, for some reason, covering for that person?
But getting each of Dion's alleged mistresses to go on the record about their affair is no easy task, especially when at least one of these women is already married.
We had one girl that actually had some sort of an affair with him, but it was difficult to really nail down because there were some people who maybe if they were involved with him, they were not willing to acknowledge that when we were conducting the investigations.
Over the next few weeks, detectives questioned several of Dion's alleged lovers, including one of the women he met on the job, Denise Harris.
What can you tell us about your connection to Dion and Shari?
I really care about Dion, but I wouldn't hurt his wife. I was at work on March 16th. Call my supervisor.
They got nowhere with Denise or any of these other women.
Investigators may have hit a dead end with Dion's mistresses, but shining a light on every corner of the Cartmels' personal lives turns up yet another unsettling discovery.
We collected a lot of stuff out of the house, and a lot of it was bills. A lot of them was her bills that someone wouldn't even open.
They were in financial trouble, Dion and Shari was.
Shari liked the finer things, so she enjoyed going out and spending money.
It's a situation many young couples encounter. But in this case, could the stress of financial woes have caused a volatile side of Dion to emerge?
I would say it caused an issue after they bought their house. It caused a lot of arguments where she was spending her money, how she was spending her money, where it was going to.
In fact, Shari's friend, Stephanie Lindblom, tells police about one such incident she witnessed 5 days before Shari's death.
What can you tell us about Shari at the workplace?
He had come into the ER about a week before in a rage.
Well, she hadn't paid her mortgage last month, and so when that happened, her husband stormed in a huge rage, and he started beating on tables and yelling at her and cursing.
I mean, he was hands slapping on the desk, cussing at her, saying, "You're gonna get me this GD money. I'm tired of playing your effing games." She was like, "I'll get you your money later," and he refused to take that as an answer.
How did she react to that?
She was embarrassed. She said, "Please leave, you're embarrassing me." And he still yelled at her and cursed at her.
Her coworkers are stunned. One of the coworkers walks out, and she ends up getting an email from Shari a few minutes later saying, "Please don't leave me up here with this nut."
She thought he was going to physically assault her right there in front of everybody else. So those are some big issues, big red flags.
With this dark side of Dion emerging, detectives decide it's time to take a closer look at their fellow officer.
We go by what the evidence tells us, and what he was telling us and what the evidence was telling us didn't jive. So that's where we had a problem.
For nearly 2 months, police in Nashville, Tennessee have been investigating the troubling shooting death of fellow officer Dion Cartmel's wife, Shari. And as interviews with Shari's friends and family continue, investigators begin to wonder if Dion's marital transgressions extended beyond adultery.
There was a lot of financial problems in the marriage. He just become so angry that he just didn't care. Some of her friends suspected some issues between the two of them, that perhaps he was being violent towards her.
He was calling her vulgar names, cursing at her. Even friends and family members heard him referring to her as the B word many times. people found his demeanor with her very, very disturbing.
He was possessive. I would say he was very jealous of Sherry. She was a very beautiful young girl. And I think anytime she may have been shown attention by somebody, he would perceive that as a threat to him.
If he would call and she wouldn't answer her phone, he was thinking that she was out doing stuff that she wasn't supposed to be doing, maybe cheating on him.
It's all about control with him. He didn't necessarily want Sherry anymore, but he didn't want anyone else to have her, which was, the whole thing was kind of bizarre, but this is how he was living his life.
In my mind, Shari was displaying symptoms of somebody who was dealing with domestic violence. I just wanted my sister to be away from him.
I think it became intolerable for Sherry at some point, and she began to hate her life. And eventually, things began to crack.
But as authorities delved deeper, they also learned something else. It seems Dion's story about Shari's first accidental shooting in their house was pure fiction.
I said, Shari, who shot a hole in the wall? She said, I didn't. I said, come here, Mom, I'm gonna show you something else.
What? He got angry. Oh, let me show you this one too.
We go in the bedroom. It's a hole in the mattress. So I look, I said, that's where your head would be. Who did that? She looks at me and just smiles. I said, Shari, did he do that at your head? She wouldn't answer me. But in my heart, I knew he did it.
Investigators re-examine evidence collected at the scene, knowing they're dealing with a potentially violent person who likes to play fast and loose with the facts.
It was just different things inside the crime scene that didn't quite add up. In particular, the blood, I think, what was the biggest. We noticed to the left of the front door what appeared to be high velocity or high impact stains, which seemed inconsistent with the story we were getting that she was shot over by the couch. Blood seemed to go from the front door in a semicircular pattern around to the couch where Sherry was found.
How does blood get from the couch to the door?
You're right. Let's get an expert in here on that.
We made the determination, let's take crime scene photographs, let's do all that and take it to somebody who does this as an expert. And that's what I did. I took all the evidence myself and personally delivered it to Jerry Finley, who's a nationally recognized expert in blood spatter, crime scene, reconstruction, that type of thing.
Jerry Finley agreed with what the investigators had already suspected. Shari was not shot on the couch.
The blood transfer, it's high impact. We're talking about a weapon, a gun, which caused a high mist, high velocity to hit the shirt, which would not happen through his interaction with her, just trying to do CPR or something like that.
When the bullet penetrates the body, it just like throwing a pebble into a body of water. It splashes out. And in order for him to get that, you have to be near the person that was shot.
It tells us that somehow, some way, he had to be facing the victim when the shot occurred because it's high impact, it would come straight back.
Detectives believe the physical evidence now points to Dion as the shooter, but it's a review of Shari's timeline the day of the incident that seems to cement that theory.
The timeline didn't make sense to me because she had just left from work.
He's given several stories about what they were doing in that short amount of time. Using video from the Skyline Medical Center, they're able to see exactly when she left, exactly when she pulled out of the parking lot.
The 911 call came in at approximately 4:46 p.m., but Shari didn't leave the hospital until 4:30 p.m.
It didn't make sense that she had time to get from Skyline parking lot home, cook chicken, mess around with the gun, and then the 911 call come in.
We know how long it takes to get from the hospital to the house. And then a short time she was in the house, he's calling 911. So a lot of things he says occurred was physically impossible to have occurred.
In addition to the questionable timeline of Dion's version of events, there was another statement he made that Shari's friends simply knew couldn't be true.
The cooking is a joke in itself. That girl never cooked, ever. We ate out all the time. She never cooked.
So when he said Shari was cooking chicken, when we initially met with the police, we was like, I told him, are you serious? Check her fingernails. Shari ain't touch no raw meat because Shari don't care for raw meat. Shari couldn't stand the texture of it, and she would not touch it.
Nashville police present their case to the district attorney. And on May 28, 2010, a grand jury hands down an indictment for first-degree murder against Dion Cartmel. Shortly thereafter, police move in to arrest their fellow officer.
I had his cell phone number, and I was communicating with him back and forth about, you know, we're gonna come arrest you. We'd like you to give yourself up. We didn't want to create a potential barricaded subject or a situation like that. And when he came out the front door, he was actually laughing. And he came out, and my guys went up, they handcuffed him, and they took him into custody.
As lawyers on both sides prepare for trial, folks in East Nashville can't help but wonder if the law will be applied more leniently to this young man who was sworn to enforce it.
My biggest concern was that Dion was going to get away with this because Dion was a police officer.
According to the Purple Berets, an advocacy group for battered women, domestic violence is 2 to 4 times more common in police families than in the general population. Of 123 police departments nationwide, 45% had no specific policy in place for handling domestic violence cases involving officers. On August 16, 2011, once proud Nashville police officer Dion Cartmel is brought into a Davidson County criminal courtroom to stand trial for the murder of his 24-year-old wife, Shari.
He stared me down, and I stared right back at him because I'm thinking, buddy, you're gonna pay. Your lies have caught up with you.
State attorneys take the floor first and present to the jury a case of anger turned into murderous rage.
We believe Shari was getting ready to go back to the hospital to go to a retirement celebration that one of her co-workers was having, and he didn't like that.
There's no question Shari was not happy in this marriage, and though only Dion knows what happened next, Shari might well have said something to Dion that set him off.
Something traumatic happened. Either they started arguing over money, over the fact that she was going out with friends that night. Perhaps she was upset about something that she found him doing.
Yo, you're not going anywhere. We got bills to discuss. Sit your ass down.
I'm sick of your crap, Dion. Get out of my way.
It's Dion's possessiveness, his control, the fact that she wanted to do something and he wasn't necessarily happy with it. He was prone to emotional outbursts. I think that's what occurred.
You think I'm stupid? I know you're sleeping with a coworker.
What?
You're not going anywhere.
Why are you suspicious that I'm the one seeing something?
I see how they look at you and how you look at them. You always text on your phone. You think I'm stupid.
You know what? You're crazy, Dion.
I'll show you crazy.
I made a big mistake marrying your sorry ass.
We believe that's when he flipped out, and that's when he shot her.
Prosecutors tell jurors that afterwards, Dion tried to cover his tracks, but the forensic evidence was his undoing.
She was shot at the door. She was drugged from the door to the couch and laid across the couch like a rag doll.
Everything you hear him saying when he's going through the motions on the 911 call, setting up like he's doing CPR, I believe at that time what he was actually doing was setting up the scene, putting his chicken in the oven and all that stuff, and that he wasn't doing any of the CPR because he never even moved off the sofa. He just totally staged all of that, in my opinion.
But when Dion surprisingly agrees to take the stand in his own defense, he continues to deny he pulled the trigger that killed his wife.
I remember just leaning up to get it, and that's when I heard it. But I heard the bang, and I could feel the, like the force on the side of me. The worst day of my life. I'm not gonna try to sit here and relive it. I tried everything I could to push this out of my head completely.
Did you shoot your wife?
No.
And when it's Dion's defense team's turn, they remind jurors that there are 2 sides to every case.
They brought in their own expert on, on the blood spatter to try to refute whatever the state blood spatter expert said.
The defense's forensic pathologist testified that the blood found on both sides of Shari's hands did not support a defensive posture.
The defense also calls attention to the gunshot residue test done on Dion's hands, which turned out to be inconclusive. However, prosecutors have a plausible explanation.
A napkin had been recovered from inside the Cartmel's living room following the shooting, and an analysis conducted on that napkin 3 months after Dion's arrest had tested positive for gunshot residue.
He used that napkin, put it around the gun, hoping it would shield GSR from getting on his hand, and he fired and shot her.
On August 26, 2011, both sides rest, and the jury retires to deliberate Deon's fate, while Shari's family waits in agonizing anticipation. After 6 hours, the jury returns.